meditation practice. As we do each night, we will begin by paying homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So again, welcome to our nightly meditation practice. Tonight I decided I wanted to share a little bit from the readings of the course I'm taking on the Chan master Huang Po. What an interesting set of readings we have from him. And I just wanted to read some of those together here and maybe share a few thoughts on them. So let's take a look at some of his writings here. Okay, so let me see if I'm where I wanted to be. I'm a page or two ahead of where I wanted to start. You can probably hear my house is a little loud right now, and it's why I came in here to meditate. So let me find the part I wanted. I apologize. Wow, I apologize. The part I wanted to read is here. This is what I wanted to talk about here. So we have basically what the readings of Huang Po are. They're a set of questions and answers that the students of Huang Po ask him. Excuse me. And then his responses to his students. So here's one of the questions. Upon what doctrine, Dharma principles, does your reverence base these words? Why seek a doctrine? As soon as you have a doctrine, you fall into dualistic thought. Question. Just now you said the beginningless past and the present are the same. What do you mean by that? It is just because of your seeking that you make a difference between them. If you were to stop seeking, how could there be any differences between them? If they are not different, why did you employ separate terms for them? If you hadn't mentioned ordinary and enlightened, who would have bothered to say such things? Just as those categories have no real existence, so mind is not really mind, and as both mind and those categories are really illusions, wherever can you hope to find anything? Question. Illusion can hide from us our own mind, but up to now you have not taught us how to get rid of illusion. Answer. The arising and the elimination of illusion are both illusory. Illusion is not something rooted in reality. It exists because of your dualistic thinking, and you will only cease to indulge in opposed concepts such as ordinary and enlightened Oh, if you will only cease to indulge in opposed concepts such as ordinary enlightened, illusion will cease of itself. Then, if you still want to destroy it, wherever it may be, you will find that there is not a hair's breadth left of anything on which to lay hold. This is the meaning of, I will let go with both hands, for then I shall certainly discover the Buddha in my own mind. If there is nothing on which to lay hold, how is the Dharma to be transmitted? It is a transmission of mind with mind. If mind is used for transmission, why do you say that mind too does not exist? Obtaining no Dharma whatsoever is called mind transmission. The understanding of this mind implies no mind and no Dharma. And if there is no mind and no Dharma, what is meant by transmission? You hear people speak of mind transmission, and then you talk of something to be received. So Bodhidharma said, the nature of the mind, when understood, no human speech can compass or disclose. Enlightenment is not to be obtained, to be attained. And he that gains it does not say he knows. If I were to make this clear to you, I doubt if you could stand up to it. Surely the void stretching out in front of our eyes is objective. Then aren't you pointing to something objective and seeing mind in it? What sort of mind could I tell you to see in an objective environment? Even if you could see it, it would only be mind reflected in an objective sphere. You would be like a man looking at his face in a mirror. Though you could distinguish your features in it clearly, you would still be looking at a mere reflection. What bearing has this on the affair that brought you to me? If we do not see by means of reflections, when shall we see at all? So long as you are concerned with by means of, you will always be depending on something else, on something false. When will you ever succeed in understanding? Instead of observing those who will tell you to open wide both your hands like one who has nothing to lose, you waste your strength bragging about all sorts of things. To those who understand, even reflections are nothing. If solid things do not exist, how much the less can we make use of reflections? Don't go about babbling like a daydreamer with his eyes open, like a sleepwalker. Stepping into the public hall, his reverence said, having many sorts of knowledge cannot compare with giving up seeking for anything, which is the best of all things. Mind is not of several kinds. There is no doctrine which can be put into words, and there is no more to be said. The assembly dismissed. And then we have more questions. What is meant by relative truth? What should you do with a parasitical plant as that? Reality is perfect purity. Why base a discussion on false terms? To be absolutely without concepts is called the wisdom of dispassion. Every day, whether walking, standing, sitting, or lying down, and in all your speech, remain detached from everything within the sphere of phenomena. Whether you speak or merely blink an eye, let it be done with complete dispassion. Now, we are getting towards the end of the third period of 500 years since the time of the Buddha, and most students of Zen cling to all sorts of sounds and forms. Why do they not copy me by letting each thought go as though it were nothing, or as though it were a piece of rotten wood, a stone, or the cold ashes of a dead fire, or else by just making whatever slight response is suited to each occasion? If you do not act thus, when you reach the end of your days, you will be tortured by Yama. You must get away from the doctrines of existence and non-existence, for mind is like the sun, forever in the void, shining spontaneously, shining without intending to shine. This is not something which you can accomplish without effort, but when you reach the point of clinging to nothing whatever, you will be acting as the Buddhas act. This will indeed be acting in accordance with the saying, develop a mind which rests on no thing whatever. For this is your pure Dharmakaya, which is called supreme perfect enlightenment. If you cannot understand this, though you gain profound knowledge from your studies, though you make the most painful efforts and practice the most stringent austerities, you will still fail to know your own mind. All your effort will have been misdirected, and you will certainly join the family of Mara. What advantage can you gain from this sort of practice? As Chi Kung once said, the Buddha is really the creation of your own mind. How then can he be sought through scriptures? Though you study how to attain the 3 grades of bodhisattvahood, the 4 grades of sainthood, and the 10 stages of the bodhisattva's progress of enlightenment, until your mind is full of them, you will merely be balancing yourself between ordinary and enlightened. Not to see that all methods of following the way are ephemeral is samsaric dharma. Its strength once spent, the arrow falls to earth. You build up lives which won't fulfill your hopes. How far below the transcendental gate, from which one leap will gain the Buddha's realm. It is because you are not that sort of man that you insist on a thorough study of the methods established by people of old for gaining knowledge on the conceptual level. Qigong also said, if you do not meet a transcendental teacher, you will have swallowed the Mahayana medicine in vain. There's a lot of Taoism in this, and that's why I've really been intrigued by the writings of Huang Po, and why I really wanted to take the course, because I wanted to feel that for myself. What is this Taoism that comes out, and what is it he's trying to explain to us, so that we better understand what this Buddha nature is that they try to teach us. I read an article. I mean, I read a excerpt earlier, and I wanted to see if I could review that with you one more time, because I found it to be just fascinating. Well, I can't really find it right now, so I'm going to move on from that. I have really enjoyed reading this and seeing what it is he's teaching, trying to when one looks at the 12 stages of dependent origination, one of the stages that is so hard to get past in almost everything is that nama rupa, that name and form. But that's really what Zen is trying to teach, is when you can place your mind prior to name and form, when you can place your mind at its original state before we begin to label everything, that is when you understand the cosmos. That's when you understand no self, and that's when you understand that voidness, that absence and presence that the Tao tries to teach us. Um, so I find that very interesting that these things come up. It comes up here when we read about, he quoted from Bodhidharma, talking about that there is nothing to be obtained, nothing to be attained. Um, and um, yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. I really have enjoyed it. Um, it's it's been a very good read, and I'm looking forward to continuing to read it and to learn more about what he was teaching um, to his students. And this question and answer um, model is very interesting. Um, because we get a little context. Of course, his answers are always in that same line of thinking, um, but uh, yeah, but that same line of thinking of the original mind is the answer to everything. But yeah, so it's been very interesting. I really enjoyed this course to date. I look forward to continuing it for the rest of this quarter. Um, Yeah, I think we'll read some more of this tomorrow because as I read forward in this chapter, I see some of the things that I wanted to share there. So yeah, there really is a lot there, and yeah, fascinating book, fascinating book. So anyway, I'm sure I bored you, but um, it leads to a lot to think about when one meditates. So, uh, having done all that, let's do a little bit of meditation. And as we do each night, we will close by reading the Bodhicitta prayer. Um, so, I invite you to listen to the bells, and we will enjoy our meditation practice together. If I can get my computer to respond to what I'm trying to click on here, it'll be a lot easier for me. Well, thank you guys for meditating with me. I'm sorry I had a little bit of a coughing fit there in the middle. It took me a good 15 minutes to get into the meditation part. But it was a good 15 minutes worth for me, so I hope you got something out of it as well. As we do each night, we will close by reciting the bodhicitta prayer. Um, so I invite you to join me in that. The bodhicitta prayer. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Again, thank you very much for meditating with me tonight. And tomorrow night is our Single Flowers In practice. I'm not sure I'll have a separate session after that or not. I guess we'll see how much meditation time we get in for that. So anyway, if I don't see you tomorrow, then I'll see you on Friday evening. So have a good evening, everyone. Good night.